Coming up on the next episode of Zuzu All Grown Up.
Look, Daddy, teacher says every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings.
You're now listening to Zuzu All Grown Up.
She's been featured in more than 20 films from the early days of film and television.
He is a psychotherapist and her loving husband.
Together, they are on a mission to brighten your day and your life.
It's a time to smile, a time to laugh, a time to expect more.
It's time to get inspired with your hosts, Karolyn Grimes and Dr. Chris Brunel.
It's time to meet Zuzu, all grown up.
In this special episode of Zuzu, All Grown Up, and throughout this season, we'll honor Dr. Leo Buscaglia, affectionately known as the Hug Doctor, by exploring his profound teachings on love, self-acceptance, and positive connection. As we commemorate what would have been his 100th birthday, we'll delve into the impact his legacy continues to have on countless lives. Join us today for some of the poignant stories and reflections from those who were influenced by his work and share in his mission to spread love and hugs to the world. That's today on this very special edition of Zuzu, All Grown Up.
Joining us today are Peter and Jill Slack, presidents of Wyanoke Group and the Broadway Theater of Pitman, New Jersey. And the topic is going to be Taking a Leap of Faith, the Broadway Theater of Pitman, New Jersey. You know, theater is my thing, so I'm really going to enjoy talking to them.
Mm-hmm. Especially when it comes to restoring a small town theater from the 1920s era, which, you know, is kind of like the kind of movie theaters that one might have seen It's Wonderful Life in.
That's true. And they host musical productions and children's theaters and concerts. So I'm looking forward to talk to them.
I am too.
Get ready for miracles. Get ready for Zuzu. All Grown Up.
We're joined today by Peter and Jill Slack, here to tell us about how they restored a theater and how that helped restore a community, as well as their special connection with Dr. Leo Buscaglia. Peter, I see you are here. Welcome to the show. Karolyn, so good to see you again. I'll let you take it away.
Today, I'm having the opportunity to talk to Mr. Peter Slack and his lovely wife, Jill. And they have really done something wonderful. They love the movie, I understand, too. It's a Wonderful Life. But he has regenerated his town in New Jersey. Can you tell us a little bit about the Broadway Theater, which is just beautiful?
Sure, you bet, Karolyn. The Broadway Theater of Pitman was built in 1926, French Revival style, 1,000 seats with a balcony, and started with vaudeville shows, Mickey Rooney, Abbott and Costello, Bing Crosby, Bob Hope, the list goes on, appeared there. The vaudeville shows would go up and down the Eastern Seaboard, and Pitman was one of the stops. And so it was pretty exciting, and it was the centerpiece of our town for many, many, many years. And it became a movie house after a while, and it's the kind of place where you took your date on a Saturday night. Kids had matinees. Tickets were 35 cents for kids, 50 cents for adults. And I grew up in this town, and it was a lot of fun, and that was the focus of the town. And there was a lot going on, and unfortunately, over time, things changed. The multiplexes were built at the malls, and people weren't going to the movies so much, and the stores in town closed because the traffic wasn't there anymore, and people were shopping elsewhere. And eventually, the Broadway Theater of Pitman went into bankruptcy.
Of course, That's the way of grand theaters back in the day, unfortunately. So you decided that you would take on quite a challenge to recoup to the theater back together. And how long had it been closed before you walked in and decided that you would help the town out and present them with this beautiful theater?
It had actually only been closed for, I think, 2 years. The predecessor owner fell on hard times himself. It was hard to run this and make it profitable, to such a point that his family actually lived in the theater. They couldn't afford an apartment or a place to live, and they lived in the theater. And you could tell it was just going downhill and downhill and downhill. But it was only closed for about 2 years before we went to share a sale to buy it.
Wow. But you had so many people in your community that came in and volunteered their time to repair this beautiful building. It's magnificent. I've seen a lot of theaters, but this one is incredible. It has the touch of real quality and beauty. It's just magnificent. And you restored it to its very, very best, you and the community. I know you had a lot of volunteers come in and they wanted to see this happen very badly. So I just think it's magnificent. Do people come from out of town to that theater too?
Oh, they do. We're about 18 miles from Philadelphia. And we have people, most of our customers are within a 20-mile radius of the theater. And many come from across the river in Pennsylvania, from Philly, come over. And, our subscriber base has just grown and grown and grown. We market this thing pretty aggressively, to the point now that we have almost 10,000 subscribers that pay us almost $100 each to see 6 Broadway type shows. So yeah, people come from all over.
Wow. So do you use local talent to put on your Broadway shows and so forth, or do you bring groups in?
No, that's a great question. We cast our own shows. We do the whole thing. We actually bought the building next to us for rehearsals. So we actually own 3 buildings in town now, I guess. So yeah, we do it all ourselves. We have producing artistic director, we have directors, we have choreographers, everything. We do it ourselves. And the talent level is amazing. I knew nothing about any of this stuff when we bought it. I was just going to buy a theater and help the town get back on its feet. And I thought this would help. But then it became apparent that, my God, we have a lot of talent in this area, because not only is the singing terrific, it's just unbelievable to me, but the subscriber base grows and grows and grows. So the customers like it.
Well, I can imagine the acoustics are absolutely fabulous in it. And the organ,
Yeah.
after my heart. I mean, there are just so few left that are still, in good shape and usable. And that organ is just beautiful. Does it sink into the basement, or does it stay right there?
Oh, it starts in the basement. It goes up in the sides. I forget how many instruments. I think it's about 80 instruments are there. But the best thing about the organ is, get this, we didn't know anything about organs either. The South Jersey Organ Society volunteers their time they came in to fix it and they maintain it. And we don't pay them anything. We don't do anything. We get out of their way. We give them a key to the back door, and they keep that organ running themselves, just as a labor of love, because they love old organs.
Wow. That it's a lost art.
Yeah. Oh, and it's great. Yeah. It's played before every show, and everybody, it's a different kind of sound.
Yes. And do you ever play any silence and use the organ for that purpose?
We did at the very beginning. I forget what it was. We did, and not a lot of people came, so that's
okay. Well, usually Buster Keaton can get him in the door, but I just love the theater organs. They're just beautiful, and they're so rare. So I always admire anybody who does anything to rehab these beautiful instruments. So tell me, when you started your project, how did you get people to volunteer? I mean, what was your method of explaining, you needed help?
You ever have one of those feelings in the gut of your stomach when maybe you just did something wrong, and you looked at this thing and, oh my God, we just look what we have now. We have it. And so some friends of mine that work, construction guys in town, carpenters in town, started the job. But we put out a notice to anybody. I think it was on April 15th. It was a Saturday, and we said, anyone would like to volunteer and help us tear out the junk and clean it up, you're welcome to come over. We'll give you a lunch. And we had over 100 people showed up. and just got to work. I mean, it wasn't like chit chat. Everybody just rolled up their sleeves and got on their hands and knees and pulled up the old carpet and the dust that flew out of there. And it was just an amazing day.
All volunteer. What heart? The heart of the community, you might say, I would guess.
Yeah.
So what's your Christmas schedule this year? Do you know?
We do a special Christmas show. Again, it's designed by us, cast by us. And it's this year. What is it going to be? Do you know the name of it this year? I'm not sure what the name is this year.
No one knows until it gets closer.
Yeah.
He doesn't announce it.
Well, I always appreciate the fact that there's so many beautiful Christmas movies. So it does have a screen, I'm sure. And do you ever show It's a Wonderful Life?
We couldn't show It's a Wonderful Life because the rights are protected. So we were not able to do that. Even, we'll talk about this in a minute, but we have a Wonderful Life trivia night in our
Martinis.
Yeah, in Martinis next door.
Uh-huh.
And even there on the television, we're not allowed to show It's a Wonderful Life. We can talk about it, we can show stills, but we can't actually run the movie, which is okay because everybody knows it by heart. Everybody's seen it 1,000 times. And we did run movies for a while in the theater, and it just didn't work out because of the multiplexes. So we have a screen, we ran movies, but that stopped, and the projector sits up there unused.
That's a waste.
I know.
I have understood about the legal problems with the movie and Paramount. There is a situation that a lot of people have to deal with, and you have to vie for the rights to show it early in the year, and it's kind of complicated.
There is a way to do it if you start.
Yeah, start early, January, and vie for it. That's kind of the way it works. But I'll guarantee you, I think you'd have a packed house. People just love it. And the emotion that runs through the crowd is, happy, sad. It's kind of a roller coaster. When there's so many people in this room with these positive feelings and then these emotional feelings, it's an experience. And it become a tradition.
Well, it's certainly a tradition in our house. We watch it every Christmas Eve in our house. And the kids say, okay, we're done the dinner. Let's get to the movie. Still do. My kids are 30 and 31. They still do. And I have a son who's 40 as well, and he likes it too.
Are we still worried about the fox?
Oh, I'm going to always be worried until I can figure out what to do with it.
We have cameras out here, and we got it on video today, darting at one of the cats.
And the noise that the fox makes is like very scary. It's a cackling, eerie sound. Because I have two of them out there that are semi-friendly, that wait for me to feed every day. And then a few, real ferals that, come and go.
Have you been in the back seat of all this going on with the Broadway and kind of refurbishing your town and building it back up again? Are you part of that?
I'm behind the scenes. Peter's the vocal one. I'm the one behind the scenes. We were, throwing it around about keeping it or not keeping it. When he first got it from sheriff's sale. I don't know what he told you. I went walk away. Anyway, he was talking about it, and my son was very adamant. We got to keep it, Dad. You can't get rid of it. Oh my gosh. You give it back to the original owner and it's going to fall apart again. So we don't know anything about theater business. This is going to be interesting. Here we are. How many years later?
17 years.
17 years.
Yeah, I was 50. Now I'm 67. The guy comes, we're in the theater. We went over. He said, all right, let me buy it back from you now. You got out of the sheriff's sale. Let me buy it back. And I thought, whoa, this is great. I got it freed up from bankruptcy and we can get the guy, he can run it again. This is a guy that was living in the theater. And everybody, Jill, my son, my daughter, everybody looked at me and said, if you do that, you're not going to be liked very much in this town. So we kept it and said, let's see what we can do with this thing.
Great idea. Women have good ideas. It sounds like she did fine there. And of course, now we got to talk a little bit about martinis. What encouraged you to name that bar Martinis?
Yeah, so we got a liquor license, and that's a whole story unto itself. And this town was dry for 120 years. And one liquor license out for sale, we didn't get it. They put a second one out after COVID because we went and told them, if you put a liquor license out and we purchase it, there's a whole lot better chance that we could reopen this theater. Because in COVID, we had to close the theater and it cost us $1 million. We had to return $1 million to our customers. We're in bad shape. And so we did get the liquor license. We had a building next door that we bought, not the rehearsal space, right next door, connected. We had bought that to build bigger bathrooms because I don't know what happened in 1926. The bathrooms in the theater don't take care of our customers anymore. The lines are just humongous. So we bought the building next door, put in 2 huge bathrooms. And then what did we do with it? Originally, it was a wine bar because we didn't have a liquor license yet, but we could serve Jersey wine. And we did that. And that was okay, but it was, not the best. And so now we had a liquor license. So what do we call it? We were around this table right here one night. And I think it was Andrew said, why wouldn't you call it martinis? Everybody thinks the Pitman is like Bedford Falls. So, wouldn't that be a great name to call this? And Jill said, and I drink martini. And then we went about and, we wanted to look just like it, the typeface on the signs or just like the typeface on the martinis in the movie. And there's pictures of George Bailey and Mr. Potter. And the whole feeling is It's a Wonderful Life. Some of the phrases, some of the popular phrases are in the window as you walk in the door. People love it. It's caught on.
I'm sure they do. What a great idea. That's so creative. I was wondering if you have a special drink there at all in regards to It's a Wonderful Life.
I think it was a Clarence style drink. And I forget the name. Oh, and then we had the bells. If you bought the drink, you got the Clarence, the little bell. There's somebody's, how's the phrase go in the movie? Angel got its wings. So you got the drink and you got the bell as well.
Oh, that is fabulous. Great marketing, I must admit. Every time a bell rings, an angel gets his wings. From a long time ago. Do you have a lot of out-of-town people come in at all, or is it mostly local folks?
For dinner and drinks, I would say that's more in a 5-mile radius. But it's filled up, and we only have 85 seats because that's all we could do after we built the bathrooms. And it's a nice bar. Bar has 15 seats. The whole feeling of it is darker, dimly lit, pictures of It's a Wonderful Life around. And people just walk in. It has a different ambiance than almost anything else in our area. And people love it. Their return customers we were there last night and 2 people approached us at the bar, a woman and her daughter, and said, we come here every Thursday night and love it. And we usually come another night during the week as well for dinner and to have our drinks. It's become a hot spot.
Wow, that's pretty great. I think it's just wonderful that you really did take the chance on this old theater, and it sure has paid off and given your town and the people in your town a great gift. And I think that's very admirable. So now tell me about the Wyanoke.
How did we get the money to buy this thing out of sheriff's sale? It was $320,000.
We'll join Karolyn and Chris in just a moment with more of Zuzu All Grown Up.
First, an important message.
He was just a teenager when his father died in a robbery. He laid awake one night and imagined a place where good would always defeat evil, every wrong made right. He imagined a world of truth, justice, and the American way. Through his loss, Jerry Siegel imagined a new hero. His imagination created Superman. Imagination. Pass it on. From passiton.com.
Start your morning right with premium coffee roasts available at ZuzuNetwork.com and drink them in your Zuzu All Grown Up coffee mug. Also perfect for tea and hot chocolate.
Stay inspired throughout the day with the same gratitude journal used by Karolyn and Chris, and check out t-shirts, hats, books, Christmas keepsakes, and more at ZuzuNetwork.com/shop.
Are you wondering whether to sell or donate the car you no longer need or want? Consider that. Donating it to a legitimate, legally recognized nonprofit organization, not only will you receive a tax deduction, but you'll be contributing to a worthy cause. Finding a worthy nonprofit organization can be time-consuming and even a bit stressful. I'm here to present to you one of the most amazing, legitimate 501c3 nonprofit organizations in the world. The United Breast Cancer Foundation. The UBCF provides screenings, treatments, aftercare services, educational materials, as well as patient and family assistance. We ask that you help in that mission by donating your unwanted or unused vehicle to the UBCF. Simply call 888-842-5505. The process is fast and easy. Call 888-842-5505. 888-842-5505. Help us in our mission and get a tax deduction. Call 888-842-5505. Thank you for your support.
Sometimes life is wonderful, and sometimes it's not. Cherish the good. but always be prepared for life's challenges. At Private Healthcare, we provide the peace of mind you deserve. With private healthcare, you'll get the coverage you want and healthcare you need. If your employer doesn't supply healthcare coverage and you don't qualify for Medicare or Medicaid, you need to give us a call right now. Private healthcare is private health insurance for ages 65 and under with medical, dental, vision, and even prescription coverage. When life comes at you unexpectedly, you need to be ready, and health insurance is your financial safety net. If you're looking for health coverage at the best price and your annual household income is $35,000 or more, give us a call at 800-683-4655. That's 800-863-4655. 800-683-4655.
A careless driver can change your life in an instant. Do you know what to do or who to call? If you've been injured in a motor vehicle accident and don't have an attorney, call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free consultation. We can answer all of your questions and estimate the potential value of your case. Call Auto Accident Help Desk and connect with an expert personal injury attorney.
Call 800-297-9766. 800-297-9766.
Don't worry how to handle your medical bills, lost wages, and pain. We will get you the money you deserve.
They got me way more than the insurance company offered.
The consultation is free, and you don't pay any legal fees unless we win or settle your case. Make the smart call if you've been injured in an auto accident. Call Auto Accident Help Desk for a free legal consultation.
Call 800-297-9766. 800-297-9766. 800-297-9766.
Auto Accident Help Desk.
Join Zuzu's network today at zuzunetwork.com/join.
Karolyn is creating an international network of aspiring angels, everyday people who believe that they can help make the world a better place by making life better for even just one other person.
Let us know you want to earn your wings at zuzunetwork.com/join, and Karolyn and Chris will send you inspirational material to support you in your journey.
We're back with more Zuzu All Grown Up.
So our real business is used to be called a publishing company, but the way things have changed in information these days, we're an information and education company. It's all gone from print to digital. We have information for any kind of healthcare practitioner or physicians, nurses, allied health. Education division that provides credits to physicians and nurses and puts on live meetings and digital offerings online. Currently we have 300 employees. We don't print anything anymore, although we do have a printer if anything is in print. And it's a lot of fun. And we provide information education across the board worldwide for healthcare practitioners.
Wow. Can you tell us something about your experiences at Camp Wyanoke?
Yeah, well, that was the best. The company is called the Wyanoke Group because we needed to create a parent company just to be compliant with your education has to be separate from your promotional. So you have a pharmaceutical company is supporting a promotional campaign. You have to have different people in your company that same pharmaceutical company would be providing the education. So we had to come up with a name in the Wyanoke Group. It's a camp I went to. My father went there. My brother went there. My uncle went there. It's on Lake Winnipesaukee. And you can go out in a canoe and look down 50 feet and see the fish at the bottom. Wonderful lakes in New Hampshire. So we great memories. And I said, what's a better name for our company than the Wyanoke Group? And we went to the website to refresh our memories. And they have two words that the Wyanoke Group stands for. The Wyanoke Camp stands for. It was an all-boys camp, and it was courage and loyalty. And we said, what better words than our parent company can stand by than courage and loyalty?
Boy, that's wonderful. My goodness. And so this is your parent company. And how did you experience to build the foundation of communication, trust, and respect in your business today? How'd you experience that?
Yeah, those are the core values. Every company looks for what's important to what they do. We all run around and we're there to do our jobs and hopefully turn a profit. But we really wanted to instill across the board, whether you're a manager of somebody or you're not a manager of somebody and you want to feel fulfilled in the company, what are the core values that we all can believe in and agree on and stand by and live by? And so, I had some in my head. That doesn't work very well. When the president says, these are our core values, live by them, it doesn't work really well. So we held focus groups, we had one-on-one meetings, we did surveys, and we had a long list of core values, must have been 25. And the same three coming back, that these were important to us: communication, respect, and trust. And that's it. So when you're promoted in our company and you're going to lead people, there's courses that we run that we've developed ourselves in our core values. And one of the best things is part of the course is the videos are by current employees explaining why they think it's important and how we do it. So that's relatively recent. And I think it's really been helpful.
So Jill, what is your position in this company? Are you involved at all, or?
No, but my two children are. So
I
well, three. I have a stepson, he's 40, and then my Barbara is 31, and my Andrew's going to be 30. And they all have a big role in taking over, we hope.
But Jill is the vice president of the Broadway Theater of Pitman, and she takes a keen interest in how Martinis runs.
Oh, that's wonderful. So she really does oversee your business a bit, and you too, I would imagine.
I've kind of taken a backseat to Martinis because she's gotten so vocal there. Everything from the menu to, is it going to be a prefix menu or just let you order off the menu? What is the menu? What are the hours? Are we telling people they have to get out of their bar seat because there's a reservation? There's all these details I never thought about when you run a little restaurant. And so Jill takes care of all that.
It's small, but my gosh, I bet it's a big job.
There's quite a few of us there. It takes an army, even though it's like a little restaurant.
How have you been able to manage to keep help? I mean, so many businesses across America now are having problems getting people to work. And I just wonder, do you have a problem there with that, or are people, you don't have that?
We actually have a very loyal group, and they work very well together. And we've been open 2 years. There are a few positions we keep losing people and turnovers because we're hiring college students, and they have to go back home or whatever. So like the hostess, replaced many times. But the bartenders are pretty much been there.
Unfortunately, we've been through 3 house managers. We're on our 3rd one. They move around a lot. They move around, and it's an interesting business too. I said the theater business is interesting. Has very different people working there than my little publishing company.
Well, it must be a challenge.
It is.
Do you have a university there in town?
Yeah. Rowan University used to be Glassboro State College. It's Rowan University. Mr. Rowan gave $100 million several years ago, and it became Rowan. And now I think the enrollment's up to 25,000, and it's 1 mile away from Pitman. It connects it. It's contiguous with Pitman. You probably haven't heard of it, but they have a goal to become really big.
Great. Kind of thought that maybe kind of where you were talking about getting some of your, well, that's great. That's wonderful. You have that access. How do you go from a company known for medicine and improving health to revitalize a community theater and restaurant in your hometown? How do you do that? What makes that happen?
Yeah, I grew up here in this town. I left for boarding school in high school and college, but came back because our company is nearby here. And it's just that the memories of what the town used to be like are fantastic. And the people in the town are great. The people in the town are just, everybody knows everybody, everybody's friendly, but just the downtown was not rewarding anymore. And actually because the restaurants, there were no restaurants except pizzerias. And, Joe would cook every night. And this one woman opened I'll call it a restaurant. She had a hot plate and some kind of weird little stove. And in the basement of her house towards town, I guess, called it a restaurant. They come and I'll sell you food. And we went down there and how do you take your own wine? And it wasn't that bad. And I said, wouldn't it be great if this town actually had real restaurants and you wouldn't have to cook every night and we could go downtown and have fun. And that sort of started the funny idea. And then when the theater, went to bankruptcy, Daryl, who's our general manager of the theater, and Martini said, why don't you buy it? And I said, yeah, I don't want that. I'd like the town to come back, but that's a huge job. And we went and looked at it and we walked out and said, yeah, that's a huge job. But nonetheless, when we went to sheriff's sale, and I'll tell you this, we went to sheriff's sale and there was another bidder. And the bank wasn't going to let it go for less than $305,000 or whatever the number was. And she was bidding And she got up to 305. And I said, great, the theater's reopened. This woman hasn't, she knew something about the business. And then she went to the sheriff at the counter there to pay. And she was writing over checks that had been written to her. She was endorsing them over to the sheriff. And they were from other people. And at the sheriff said, you better have a certified check. You need that. So as I'm out the door saying, great, this is open, they grabbed me and said, no, Slack, this has not happened.
We'll join Karolyn and Chris in just a moment with more of Zuzu All Grown Up.
First, an important message.
To find out more about the organization featured in today's episode or a previous episode and to learn more about how you can help, go to zuzunetwork.com/beanangel.
Wouldn't it be great if life came with a remote control? You know, you could hit pause when you needed to, or hit rewind, like that time you knocked down that wasp's nest.
Uh-oh.
Well, life doesn't always give you time to change the outcome, but prediabetes does. With early diagnosis and a few healthy changes, you can stop prediabetes before it leads to type 2 diabetes. To learn your risk, take the 1-minute test today at doihaveprediabetes.org. Brought to you by the Ad Council and its prediabetes awareness partners.
This is an important announcement for anyone who wants health insurance, even if you missed the deadline. Right now, you can get the health insurance you and your family need from top insurance providers, even if you have pre-existing conditions or no insurance at all. The Plus Benefits Health Insurance toll-free number has been extended to help anyone who wants health insurance coverage now, or if you need a better plan or a lower price. Call Plus Benefits Health Insurance now at 800-332-1993. The call is 100% free and the help is real. Call 800-332-1993. That's 800-332-1993.
Imagine having all the money you need for retirement, all the income, every month, guaranteed. That's Secure Future Investor, an indexed annuity tied to growth in the stock market, but without any risk of loss ever. It's guaranteed money for life income, no matter how long you live. Call 888-288-7088, 888-288-7088. Sponsored by GP Agency, Inc., Raleigh, NC. Licensed in all states. Performance may vary. Consult your financial professional before making an investment decision.
1 out of 8 women in the United States will be diagnosed with breast cancer in her lifetime. And the chances are you know at least one person who's been personally affected. But right now, you can help. It's simple. Donate your unwanted vehicle, RV, or trailer to the United Breast Cancer Foundation. It's the easiest way to contribute to one of the nation's leading charitable organizations. The process is fast, easy, and free. Not only will you be helping, but you'll also receive a tax deduction. The United Breast Cancer Foundation offers an array of programs and services that help and support families and individuals dealing with breast cancer. But we can't do it alone. We need your help. Simply give us a call to get started, and we'll schedule a pickup date that is convenient for you. If you have any questions you would like answered before initiating the donation process, please feel free to call us toll-free at 800-324-6218. That's 800-324-6218. 800-324-6218.
Zuzu's book club features recommendations from Zuzu herself on books she loves and thinks you will love also. All of the books that the club reads, fiction and nonfiction, are inspirational and uplifting. Folks, this is a life-enhancing club to be part of. You can sign up for free at zuzunetwork.com/book club. That's zuzunetwork.com/book club. Paradise on Earth? Why not? Our existence is precisely what we make it. And by embracing the many pleasures life has to offer, we can have unlimited joy. Leo Buscaglia, who has already shown so many of us that the way to more love and happiness, offers refreshing, detailed advice on looking around us and finding delight in the simple things, in food, in flowers, in music, dance, and in books, in art and memories, in our families, and in loving. Step onto Bus 9 with Leo and open yourself to a life-affirming journey to paradise. It's the most important trip you'll ever take. Today's book club selection is Bus 9 to Paradise by Dr. Leo Buscaglia, published by Slack Publishing.
This is Zuzu. All grown up.
So I don't know if I decided, or the mayor of Pitman was there at the town too. Russ was there, and Daryl. I don't know if I decided or I had a lot of influence, but I said, okay, let's go ahead and do this thing. That was the beginning of the decision to go ahead and try to revitalize the town. Nothing to do with a publishing company, just because we live here.
Well, what's the population?
Just under 9,000. It's 1 square mile, just under 9,000. And you know what's great? Since the theater opened, and that was a catalyst. Now there's restaurants. I don't know. There's 4 good restaurants, maybe more. Spas. I think we have 14 hair salons. We have 15 churches, but we always had those. Anyhow, the stores have reopened. All the storefronts are reopened. And it's very different. So, there's 9,000 people are here. But since all this happened and people invested their own money, home values have gone through the roof. So how many homes are for sale in Pitman right now? 0. A lot of young families are in town with, their babies and strollers and stuff. But right now, today, there's 0 houses for sale, and the values have gone up incredibly. Now, can the theater take credit for that? No, but we started it.
I bet you did. Yeah. How far are you from New York City?
We usually go to Philly. It's an hour train ride from Philly. If you drive, it's an hour and a half.
Wow. That's really something. So tell me, how does your family celebrate Christmas?
Go ahead, Jill.
Well, we have different traditions. And recently, now the kids are older. It's a little different, but I would have Peter's side of the family over on Christmas Eve, and my side of the family, which was much larger, the weekend prior to Christmas. But Christmas morning is just the kids. It was just the kids and us. And we'd have breakfast. We always have to have, it's called Ocean City eggs. That came from years back from his side of the family. I had to make these eggs every morning, every Christmas morning.
Tell me how you make those eggs.
It's just parsley, a little salt and pepper, and scrambled eggs. It's very easy, but it's tradition. So, and everybody has to eat before you go into the living room to open presents. That's our morning with the kids. And my daughter's expecting first grandbaby in September. So life is going to be a little different this Christmas. So we're excited. Yeah.
But it's Christmas Eve where we all get together and watch the movie.
Yes.
We have dinner, we drink some champagne, and we watch the movie. We do that every Christmas Eve.
Who started that tradition?
I think when my parents are still alive, we started doing it then, and everybody still likes it. Except the scene where Uncle Billy loses the money. Nobody likes that scene.
Maybe you're a George Bailey.
We actually have, is it over there? I'm going to go show you this.
Yeah, the picture. We have a large George Bailey cutout that we put in the restaurant, and people like to take their picture with them.
They're really life-size pictures you have in there.
Oh, yeah. So that's the picture, but that's my head and Jill's head.
Well, the movie means so much to so many people, and I think we can all learn from watching it every year. That's for sure. It touches so many lives.
So are you going to come back for our trivia contest next Christmas? Be the celebrity?
Well, you never know.
Yeah. You talk about selling out the house.
I'm kind of like the movie. You got to get me at the first of the year. Well, you should try to show It's a Wonderful Life. And you might be surprised at your turnout, because once they see it on the big screen, it's emotional. I love watching it on the big screen with an audience. Well, I really do appreciate your joining me today. And I'm so excited. I might just come up there to see Martinis. You never know.
Well, you're very welcome to join us. One thing I failed to mention, you said, why did you take such a departure from, what you really do? My dad actually owned the company before I did, and he did a departure too. Have you ever heard of Leo Buscaglia?
Yes.
Yeah. So our family's willing to branch out from what we do because we became his publisher, and that was a whirlwind of fun as well. So, we like to branch out from what we do. It keeps your mind going and it's fun.
Wow. My goodness. Well, his books were very successful, and that certainly is in your crown because you had faith in him and published his books, or your dad did. Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Wow. Well, I sure hope that you have a wonderful Christmas this year and you have a successful theater business. And I know you help a lot of people and your hearts are in the right places. And I appreciate that. And thank you very much. And I'm sure that your kindness just passes on to other people and they pass it on. That's a wonderful thing that you have started. So thanks for being with me today. We're having a lot of fun doing these interviews, and
Good.
we appreciate your joining us. So thank you so much.
We appreciate your interest, Carolyn. It's
Yes.
it's a fun thing we're doing, and I'm glad that you're interested in it. And I hope we get on your schedule for 2026 then, if you can't do 2024 or 5.
Well, just look up Carolyn.Wilkerson at zuzu.net.
Okay.
An email.
Wonderful. All right.
Peter and Jill, what a delight to have you on the show. Thank you for the thought-provoking discussion. We've learned so much. We'll be right back.
Do you know someone who is earning their wings? Someone practicing kindness and service to others? Perhaps an organization or initiative helping make the world we live in a kinder, sweeter place.
Or maybe you've witnessed the miraculous, the divine, the magnificent in some way in your life, and you'd like to share it with others. Go to zuzunetwork.com/tellmystory and let us know more.
You may end up being featured on an upcoming episode of Zuzu All Grown Up. That's zuzunetwork.com/tellmystory. Now here's Seth Kennedy with today's parting thoughts.
Today's guests have taught us about taking a leap of faith, what it's meant in their life, and indeed what it can mean in our lives. Sometimes it's one small step that makes a giant leap. And other times we have to close our eyes and just take a big leap into the unknown, on nothing but our faith alone. The results are often the kind of miracle that only faith can produce. If you're used to playing it safe, well, that's a good way to play, but at least once in your life, take a leap of faith, and see where you end up. It might just be somewhere you could never have walked to.
Thank you for listening to another episode of Zuzu All Grown Up.
We hope you've been inspired to live your most wonderful life now and to help those around you do the same.
Remember, no matter what you're going through, no matter who you are, there are people who care about you, and your life makes a difference.
It is a wonderful life.
Check out zuzunetwork.com for more on today's and other episodes, including transcripts and merchandise you won't want to be without.
New episodes are coming soon.
For transcripts of today's broadcast, go to zuzunetwork.com/transcripts. Zuzu All Grown Up with your hosts Karolyn Grimes and Dr. Chris Brunell.
Announcer and guide Seth Kennedy.
Executive producer Kevin R. Stillmock.
Coordinating producer Holly Ann Way.
Technical producer Stella Joelle.
A Wonderful Land production.
In collaboration with Radio Wonderful.